VOA News. I'm Christopher Cruz reporting. Officials in Florida say there are multiple fatalities after a shooting at a shopping mall in downtown Jacksonville. Florida is in the southeastern United States. Multiple media outlets are reporting that 4 people have died. 11 were taken to hospitals. The sheriff said the lone shooter was a white male and was among the dead. A source told the Associated Press that the suspected shooter died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Pope Francis ended his visit to Ireland Sunday with a religious ceremony attended by hundreds of thousands of people in rainy, windy weather. On Saturday, he met for more than an hour with 8 survivors of sexual abuse. Mark Vincent Healey was one of those 8.
His 2,000 words are just too much. They really have very little meaning or content. The idea that sort of like he can bring about the end of child sexual abuse, for example, even within the clergy, where does he get this from? I mean, we're aware that it is still yet ongoing.
Healy says the letter Francis wrote to Catholics around the world, which condemned the crime of priestly sexual abuse and its cover-up and demanded accountability, is little more than strong words and recycled rhetoric. One report said when the Pope met with the 8 survivors of sexual abuse, he strongly condemned priests who committed the abuse or covered it up. The Islamic State's Afghanistan leader Abdus Saad Arabi and 9 of his commanders were killed during a drone strike overnight Saturday. The missile strike happened in eastern Nangarhar province, the headquarters of the terrorist group. The strike also destroyed 2 of the group's bases. This is VOA News. Afghan President Ashraf Ghani has rejected the resignations of 3 top security officials. A government spokesman said Sunday that Ghani has asked the 3 to remain in office and, quote, work towards the betterment of the security situation. Their resignations were offered hours after Ghani's national security advisor abruptly resigned. In his resignation letter, the advisor said he was leaving because of serious differences with the top leadership of the government over policies and principles. President Emerson Mnangagwa called for unity in Zimbabwe Sunday after being sworn in before thousands of people in the capital to start his 5-year term. Correspondent Columbus Mavunga reports from Harare for VOA.
In his inaugural speech Sunday, Mnangagwa asked his political foes to bury their differences for the task ahead.
We are all Zimbabweans. What unites us is greater than what could ever divide us.
The Movement for Democratic Change Alliance boycotted an invitation to the inauguration. The party wants to take its objections to the election to the African Union. Columbus Mavunga for VOA News, Harare.
Mnangagwa came to power in November 2017 after military pressure forced Robert Mugabe to resign after 37 years as head of the country. Rights groups continue their criticisms of conditions in refugee camps on the Australian island of Nauru. Correspondent Phil Mercer reports for VOA from Sydney.
Medical experts and refugee advocates say there's a mounting health crisis among children held at Australia's offshore detention centres on Nauru. Sources say the situation on the tiny South Pacific island is dangerously chaotic. Nauru is Australia's last remaining offshore processing camp for asylum seekers intercepted at sea. Canberra says the facility is a deterrent and has stopped people from risking their lives trying to reach Australia by boat. Detainees are told they have no chance of being resettled in Australia. Conditions in the facilities have been consistently condemned by rights groups. Phil Mercer for VOA News, Sydney.
A 6.0 magnitude earthquake hit western Iran early Sunday. 1 person died, dozens were injured. The earthquake struck in Kermanshah province. It was felt in Baghdad, the capital of Iraq. You can find more on these and other late-breaking and developing stories from around the world around the clock at voanews.com and on the VOA News mobile app. I'm Christopher Cruz, VOA News.